Imagine placing a pigeon inside a simple testing box. On one side, a red button. On the other, a green button. To most people, it's just another bird. But within minutes, the pigeon begins solving problems. Hours later, it remembers patterns. Days later, it makes decisions that surprise even scientists. For decades, pigeons were dismissed as flying rats. But behind those ordinary feathers hides a brain capable of remarkable learning, memory, and decision-making. Today, we'll uncover the psychology experiment that forced scientists to rethink one of the world's most overlooked birds. And by the end of this video, you'll never look at a pigeon the same way again. Chapter 1. The most underrated bird. Walk through any city, and you'll see pigeons everywhere. They gather in parks. They avoid traffic with perfect timing. They recognize people who feed them. Most of us barely notice them, but psychologists did. Researchers wondered, how intelligent is a pigeon? Really? Could it learn like humans? Could it remember hundreds of images? Could it even make choices based on probability? The answers would completely change our understanding of bird intelligence. One experiment, in particular, became legendary. And it started with a psychologist who believed behavior could be measured through carefully designed tests. Chapter 2. The experiment that shocked science. The laboratory looked simple. A quiet room. A small testing chamber. Inside was a single pigeon. In front of the bird were illuminated buttons that could display different colors, shapes, or images. Whenever the pigeon pecked the correct button, it received a small food reward. At first, the task was easy. Red meant reward. Green meant nothing. The pigeon quickly learned the difference. Then the scientists made the experiment much harder. Instead of simple colors, they displayed dozens of different images, then hundreds. Most people expected the pigeon to become confused. It didn't. Day after day, the bird continued making the correct choices. The researchers increased the challenge again. They mixed old images with brand new ones. The pigeon still remembered which images it had seen before. In some experiments, pigeons successfully recognized hundreds, even thousands, of visual patterns with remarkable accuracy. The tiny bird wasn't just reacting randomly. It was learning, remembering, comparing, making decisions based on experience. Each correct choice proved that a pigeon's brain could process far more information than anyone had imagined. Scientists realized they had underestimated these birds for decades. And the next experiment would be even more surprising, because researchers wanted to know whether pigeons could recognize something humans see every day: human faces. Chapter 3. Can pigeons recognize human faces? Imagine walking through the same city park every morning. You stop. You scatter a handful of seeds. A flock of pigeons gathers around you. The next day, before you even reach the bench, they fly toward you as if they were expecting your arrival. Is it luck? Or do they actually know who you are? Scientists decided to find out. In one famous series of experiments, researchers had different people interact with wild pigeons. One person regularly offered food, while another simply walked through the area without feeding them. After several days, something remarkable happened. The pigeons didn't approach every human equally. They followed the person who had fed them before, even when that person changed clothes or approached from a different direction. The birds weren't just remembering a location. They were recognizing the individual. To the pigeons, every person represented a different experience. A familiar face could mean food. A threatening person could mean danger. A stranger required caution. This ability is incredibly valuable in crowded cities, where thousands of people pass by every day. Remembering who is safe and who isn't helped pigeons survive. But scientists still had one more question. Could pigeons do more than recognize people? Could they actually understand complex categories, something once thought to be uniquely human? The next experiment would push their minds to an entirely new level. Chapter 4. The test no one expected them to pass. If pigeons could recognize colors and remember faces, could they also sort objects into categories? For years, many scientists believed this ability belonged mainly to humans and a few highly intelligent mammals. So they designed an experiment that seemed almost impossible for a bird. A pigeon was shown hundreds of photographs. Some contained trees. Others showed cars. Some featured people. Others displayed water, buildings, or animals. The images were never exactly the same. Different angles, different lighting, different backgrounds. The pigeon couldn't simply memorize one picture. It had to recognize what all the pictures in the same category had in common. Every correct choice earned a small food reward. Every mistake meant trying again. At first, progress was slow, but as the days passed, something incredible happened. The pigeons began choosing the correct category far more often than chance would allow. Then came the real surprise. Scientists introduced completely new photographs the birds had never seen before. If the pigeons had only memorized the training images, they should have failed. Instead, many of them still sorted the new images correctly. That suggested they weren't just memorizing pictures. They were learning general concepts and applying them to unfamiliar situations. It was a level of visual learning that challenged long-held assumptions about bird intelligence. Researchers began asking a bigger question. If a pigeon can learn patterns, recognize people, and understand visual categories, what else might be happening inside that small brain? The next discovery would reveal one of the pigeon's greatest hidden powers, an astonishing memory that helps it survive in cities around the world. Chapter 5. The memory that keeps pigeons alive. Imagine being released hundreds of miles from home. No phone, no map, no GPS, just the open sky. For most animals, finding the way back would be nearly impossible. But for a pigeon, it's often just another journey. This incredible ability fascinated scientists for decades. Researchers released homing pigeons from unfamiliar locations, sometimes dozens or even hundreds of kilometers away from their lofts. Again and again, many of the birds returned home. How? The answer wasn't a single superpower. It was a remarkable combination of memory and navigation. Pigeons build detailed mental maps of their surroundings. They remember landmarks such as rivers, roads, coastlines, and buildings. Evidence also suggests they use the position of the sun, Earth's magnetic field, and even familiar smells carried by the wind to help guide them. As they travel, they constantly compare what they see with what they've learned before. It's a process of observation, memory, and decision-making happening in real time. This same ability helps city pigeons survive every day. They remember where food is available. They learn which streets are dangerous. They recognize safe places to nest, and they adjust their behavior based on past experiences. To many people, a pigeon is just another bird in the crowd. But to scientists, it's an animal making thousands of intelligent decisions every single day. And perhaps the biggest surprise of all, these experiments didn't just change how we see pigeons. They changed how we think about animal intelligence itself. Next chapter, what pigeon psychology teaches us about intelligence, and why we have been underestimating them for centuries. Chapter 6, what pigeon psychology teaches us about intelligence. For generations, intelligence was measured by one simple idea. The bigger the brain, the smarter the animal. Pigeons challenge that belief. Their brains are tiny, about the size of the tip of your thumb. Yet experiment after experiment revealed abilities that seemed impossible for such a small bird. They can remember hundreds of images. They can recognize individual people. They can learn complex visual patterns. They can navigate across vast distances using multiple environmental cues. And they can adapt to one of the most difficult environments on Earth, a modern city. To scientists, this raises an important question. Maybe intelligence isn't about the size of a brain. Maybe it's about how efficiently that brain processes information. Every day, pigeons make rapid decisions. Should they approach this person? Is that moving object a car or a harmless bicycle? Is this park safe today? Where was the best food source yesterday? Each decision is based on memory, experience, and learning. In psychology, this is known as adaptive behavior, using past experiences to make better choices in new situations. Humans rely on it. Many mammals rely on it. And as it turns out, pigeons do too. The birds we often ignore are constantly collecting information, updating their mental maps, and adjusting to a changing world. Their intelligence isn't loud or dramatic. It's quiet, efficient, and remarkably effective. So the next time you see a pigeon standing calmly in a busy city square, remember, it may not be watching the crowd at random. It may already know which people are harmless, which places are safe, and exactly where it's going next. The greatest surprise of the pigeon psychology experiments wasn't that pigeons are intelligent. It was that humans underestimated them for so long. Sometimes the most extraordinary discoveries are hiding in the most ordinary places. If you enjoyed this documentary, like the video, subscribe to Wild Psychology, and turn on notifications for more science backstories about animal intelligence, behavior, and the hidden psychology of the natural world. Question for you. After watching this, do you still think pigeons are just city birds, or have these experiments changed your mind? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next documentary.